OmniGraffle is packed with tools for creating diagrams and flowcharts. And when you're creating a flowchart, you don't just need shapes to denote the process, you need to connect the objects with lines and direct those lines to the right locations. Let's build a flowchart to illustrate the workflow for building an ebook. Use the Shape tool to draw a rectangle. You can then type the exact width and height in the Geometry Inspector, and then we can select Edit, Duplicate from the menu, or just type Command D to duplicate the shape and then modify as needed. The squares and rectangles will denote tasks or actions. Add a data repository for storing your work. A couple of circles to indicate quality assurance steps. Some diamonds to denote decision points. And 2 parallelograms to indicate input or output points in the process. Round off the corners of the 2 rectangles to create a terminal shape. These are used as the start and end points of the flowchart. Double-click on each shape to label these Start and Publish. Start to move the shapes around into their correct positions for the flowchart. You can use buttons in the Alignment Inspector to center objects with each other, either horizontally or vertically, and to space objects apart at a regular distance. Once you have some of the objects aligned, you can use OmniGraffle's blue alignment guides to help you lay out the rest of the objects for your diagram. As you organize your flowchart, double-click the shapes to add text labels. If you find that you need additional shapes, hold down the Option key and then click and drag the shape you need to create a duplicate. Now let's finish the work by adding connecting lines to show the flow through the flowchart. Start by double-clicking the Line tool to place it in active mode. By making a tool active, you can continue using the same tool until you switch to another or choose the Selection tool. With the Line tool selected, go to the Line Inspector to choose Straight Lines with an arrowhead on the right side. This way, as you draw the connecting lines from one object to another, OmniGraffle will place an arrowhead at the end of the line. Using the Line tool, click the Start object and draw a line to the Create SVN repository object. When the mouse hovers over an object, the outline for the object pulses. This provides you with a visual cue to let you know where the lines are being connected. Continue connecting your objects with lines to show the flow through the flowchart. The Review Again decision requires a loop back to the Email Editor's List object. However, if we use a straight line here, the connecting line ends up crossing all of the objects in between. In cases like this, you can change the line to an orthogonal line. Orthogonal lines have right angle bends in them, which means you can route a line around other objects in the flowchart, making the flow clearer. Orthogonal lines also have a control handle, which you can click and drag to adjust where and how the line bends around other objects. By default, all connecting lines attach to an object's center point. However, there are times when you want the lines to connect elsewhere. How does this work? Magnets. Magnets define where connecting lines are attached to an object. You can change the positions of the magnets to fit your needs. For example, with these 2 objects, you may want to place magnets at the 4 cardinal directions. After setting the magnet positions, grab the start or end point of the connecting line and drag it to the magnet you want to connect to. Notice how the magnet pulses when you hover over it with the mouse. This lets you know the magnet is ready to connect with that line. The lines from the diamond decision points could also use some clarification. Use the Text tool and click on each line to add yes or no labels to the lines to show which way the chart should flow, depending on which decision you make. You can use the Selection tool to reposition the labels exactly where you'd like along the line. Finally, use the Fill and Stroke inspectors to stylize the flowchart. To help select objects, use the Selection tab in the sidebar to click and select all of the objects with the same style attributes. When you're finished, you can export the flowchart as an image file or PDF that you can send to your colleagues. Download your free trial version of OmniGraffle today and get drawing. Learn more at OmniGraffle.com.